So Trent, so you are about to get on the plane. The career is coming to an end. You got a son on the way. And then you get an inkling, an urge, a premonition, an epiphany that maybe there's another calling on your life, that maybe being a professional athlete was only a part of your story. And you transition into being a motivational speaker. And what I want to know is, how do you do that?
It's crazy, man, because like if you ask my dad, even to this day, it's three of us, three boys, I would be the last pick, you know? So people who know me like before rehab time, before what I do now, it's crazy to them because how introverted I was. I never wanted to be a speaker. So if it's like a formula to like, this is how you do it, I wouldn't be able to tell people that. But I will tell you this, it's about answering the call that God has in your life. And that call, I heard that call my whole entire life. You know, my dad's a pastor, so I heard my whole entire life. And I was so wrapped up in what I wanted to do, like I wasn't even hearing it, you know, or even acknowledging it because I'm like, I don't want to be a speaker. I don't want to do that stuff. Like I want to be a ball player. But it took, you know, tragedy. It took one of my best friends committed suicide and going to his service and realizing that, you know, there's so many people that were in my position where I feel like I lost everything. And maybe it's not sports, it's something else. And it was a promise that I made to him that I would live the rest of my life helping people like know their self-worth and stepping into my fear and stepping outside of my comfort zone. I just shared my life online. Like I had no idea it would be here. And I just realized people, we all have the same struggles, right? They're different, but they're still alike. And people just related to the message.
You know, it's an amazing, first of all, Trent, let me tell you how great you are. All right. And I'm being serious. You know, I'm goofy most of the time, but I'm being serious now. This is my serious face. Let me tell you how great you are. You reached the height and the pinnacle of a profession you weren't supposed to do. You know how many people desperately trying to become NFL and NBA players, professional athletes, and to a great degree, this is something that they put everything in and is what they're supposed to reach after. You realize somewhere along the line, you weren't even supposed to be doing that. And yet you were able to reach the height, the pinnacle of that profession. It's a statement about your tenacity and your greatness. And before I ask you about your 2 million followers, and I want you to tell me how to get on Instagram.
I got you.
what I want to know is, take everybody into, because not everybody gets to talk to a professional athlete, right? Very few people get to interact with you. And you guys are different. You all function differently in the world. But just for a moment, tell everybody what it really takes to be that.
Yeah. So think about it like this. I'll break it down in a percentage. And this is a percentage I heard my whole entire life. And it never discouraged me because I was like, I'm going to be that. Less than 1%. It's like 0.001% of people actually make it to the NFL, right? Or that less than 1% actually make it to college. And you have to be willing to do what the 99% of people aren't doing. And so it takes really being locked in. It takes working harder than hard. It takes being able to have adversity. And it takes something that I apply to my life today. I like to call it emotional resilience. It's being able to resist the emotions of, oh, I'm not good enough, to resist the emotions of, I'm tired, to resist the emotions of someone telling you that it's impossible. So you have to believe it's possible, even when everything, basically you have to be obsessed with it to be able to make it. That's why so many guys have trouble transitioning out because they put so much into it their whole entire life.
Yeah, yes. You're doing your good talking, Trent. Let me just tell you right now, this is some good talking. Because I believe greatness is the willingness to look like a fool. I believe that. So that brings us to the book. We're gonna get to them 2 million followers. I promise you.
Yes, sir.
but your book, straight up, right? Does it speak to some of what you just said to me?
Absolutely. This book is targeted to young adults, but it's for everybody. So, you know, if you're 35, 45, 55, you're gonna pick up this book like, oh, I need to hear some of this too. But it's targeted to young adults, and I just wanted to be like super straight up about so many different topics that I wish somebody would have been straight up about me with. So whether it's how to deal with pain, I'm talking about sex and relationships. I'm talking about how to deal with depression, anxiety, all these things that my father talked about to me, my mother talked about to me, but not at a level where like I'm being in this book to tell you like, this is like why you don't want to do it. This is why you don't want to have sex.
Sure. Hold on one second. I can't resist this. I have Tourette's. I have Tourette's syndrome. What's your best sex advice? Go.
I'll tell your kids right here, don't have sex before you're married because a couple things can happen. One, you could be in a situation with a person that is not meant for your life, and you can lose your dream. You can lose everything. You can bring a whole bunch of chaos, baby mom, baby father. And plus, this is what would have touched me, how much it actually costs for children. Like it's crazy, right? How much, especially at that age. So you got to ask yourself, is that moment really worth losing everything you're truly working for? And do it right.
No, I agree. I think Trent's sex advice is great for young adults and teenagers. Here's Dr. Sean's. If Trent's advice doesn't work, wear a condom. If you can't follow Trent, wear a condom. All right, let's get off that. So listen, one of the things I love to ask writers, and I'm going to ask you this, and I never know what they're going to say. How did writing this book affect you? How did it change you?
Every time I write a book, I have to go revisit. You brought that up earlier, right? I have to go revisit times in my life that maybe I tried to forget about. And so it often brings up those emotions. Like I feel emotions. I'm just that type of person. So that, and also it always holds me more accountable. So I look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, I'm teaching this, but how well am I doing living this? And so I'm always gonna hold myself accountable. It makes me look at my life and be like, okay, you need to get this in check because perfection doesn't exist. But if I'm gonna preach something, I'm gonna try very, very hard to make sure I practice it as best as I can.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. And so if you had to boil the message of the book down to a singular kind of thought or a singular expression, what is this book's great message to the world?
It's a message of responsibility, looking yourself in the eye and realizing that you're responsible for your life. And when you read this book, there will be no more excuses on blaming and complaining or anything else, because these are the tools that's really going to help your life moving forward.
Yeah, you have a concept in the book that I thought was very interesting, where you say we should burn some bridges.
Absolutely.
Say more about that. Come on.
Yeah, people say don't burn bridges, and I agree to an extent, right? There's certain bridges we shouldn't burn for misunderstandings and stuff like that. But if we're being real, there's certain bridges in our life that need to be burned because there's certain things our life cannot afford to go back to. Whether it's people, whether it's our own habits. And when you keep these bridges in your life that need to be burned, all it does is prevent you from building the bridges in your life that need to be built. So I say burn those bridges that lead you back to depression, stress, and pain, and get those things out your life.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. The people who know me know that I agree with that. I will burn your bridge so you can't cross it. I'm not worried about me crossing. I don't want you crossing.
You don't want them to follow you.
You can't come with me. Look. That's what Abraham should have did with Lot. He should have left him. Everybody can't go, but that's another sermon. I don't have time to preach it tonight. So listen. I got 2 minutes left, and I want to ask you a couple of things. First, let me ask you this, because you're very interesting to talk to. You have such an easy way about you, and such a generous. I can hear your shyness, but I can also hear how you've overcome it to be able to do what you do. So here's my question. Oh great Yoda one. If you could only take one thing with you through the rest of your life, can't say God, can't say your wife, can't say your kids, what would you take?
Is it a thing or again? Okay. I'm gonna say appreciation.
Why? Why that?
Because I believe it's a superpower of life. I've been able to travel and been through all walks of life, and I've seen people that had nothing that just appreciated life. And this guy told me this one time I was in Fiji. He told me this, and I'll never forget. He said, when you learn to appreciate everything that you have, you realize that you have everything that you need. And I know appreciation produces peace in people's lives. And as long as I have peace, I'll be okay.
Okay, it's official. I love you. Yes, I do. Last question. Give me one word answer. I got to take a break. You ready?
Yep.
What's the best thing about you?
Empty.
I love it. Listen, everybody. Trent Shelton is the man. Pick up his book straight up. Buy the book, because if the book is anything like this conversation, it's reading. You don't have to be a young adult. I think Trent has more to say to the rest of us, or as much to say to the rest of us as he does to them. Trent, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Dr. Sean. I appreciate you, man.
You're a good man, brother. You're a good man. We're going to stay in touch. Listen, coming up next is Dr. Elijah Nicholas. He's going to talk to us about his book and the powerful way his book is shaking up the world. We'll be right back. You're watching The Book of Sean on Fox Soul. Always almost forget my name. I'll be right back.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.